เวลาจะใช้ภาษาอังกฤษหรือพูดภาษาอังกฤษในที่ทำงานเนี่ยบางทีก็กังวลใจเหมือนกันนะคะให้มันจะดูแบบไม่สุภาพไหมมันดูห้วนดูแรงไปไหมพูดไปแล้วบางทีรู้สึกแบบมันไม่ค่อย professional เลยยิ่งไม่ค่อยกล้าพูดเข้าไปใหญ่อันนี้เข้าใจอย่างสุดซึ้งคณะเลยแอบเอาตัวอย่างบทเรียนจากคอร์ส English for Career Development รวมเทคนิควิธีที่ทำให้เราเนี่ยสามารถใช้ภาษาอังกฤษในที่ทำงานได้แบบสุภาพเป็นทางการมากยิ่งขึ้นไปดูกันเลยค่ะ Hello there how are you how's everything so far excellent right ถามเองตอบเอง assume เองว่าโอ้สนุกมากเลยข้อนี้มีความสุขจังเลย Okay welcome to this video lesson about using polite and formal English usually the main problem I think is probably that there's fear of appearing to be saying something rude or inappropriate especially at work yeah because it's not our language เพราะมันไม่ใช่ภาษาของเราเพราะฉะนั้นบางทีมันก็จะรู้สึกแบบเฮ้ยเราพูดอย่างนี้มันห้วนไหมมันแรงไหมมันดูไม่สุภาพไหม because in English there's no คะ there's no ครับนะครับ there's no such thing like this พอมันไม่ใช่ภาษาของเราปุ๊บเราก็เริ่มรู้สึกว่าเอ๊ะมันจะโอเคไหมเราพูดได้ไหมเพราะว่าภาษามัน it's rooted in the culture มันมีรากอยู่ในวัฒนธรรมซึ่งวัฒนธรรมของความ polite ของแต่ละที่ก็มีวิธีการ express ไม่เหมือนกัน how do people use different phrases and expressions to deliver the message in different situations they are different from one culture to another that is why I know this คณะสัมผัสได้ that is why today I would love to be able to walk you through different elements and aspects of the things that we can use and we can do or take into account of your conversation in terms of polite and formal English. So let's talk about it. Now, the first thing that I really recommend learning and getting to know it a little bit more, this is called euphemism and euphemism this is a definition from literally devices euphemism refers to polite indirect expressions that replace words and phrases considered harsh and impolite or which suggest something unpleasant I think this applies a lot in writing and formal use of language ส่วนใหญ่พอบางทีเราเขียนภาษาเขียนหรือว่าภาษาที่เราจะต้องเขียนแบบพูดใน speech ต่างๆแล้วมีคนเยอะๆต้องฟังเราต้องอ่านในสิ่งที่เราอ่าน there's going to be some words that we can say in normal conversation but in some message that is much more formal we want to be careful about the word choice นะคะเราเลือกใช้คำแบบไหนอะไรอย่างเงี้ยเพราะฉะนั้น euphemism ก็คือคำหรือวลีที่ดูสุภาพดูแบบอ้อมๆดูมันดูไม่ห้วนอ่ะใช้แทนคำที่มันดูห้วนดูไม่สุภาพดูแรงได้นะคะ What are some examples? Let's take a look. Yeah. For example, the word poor. Like if you were to write, this project helps poor people.It's okay. It's not bad, but of course it's very straightforward. มันก็พรุ่งตรงมาก So then the alternatives are economically disadvantaged, yeah, low income or underprivileged. Economically disadvantaged. I'm not saying it's better. It's just that in the context พอมันเป็นในบริบทที่ความหมายมันก็พอกันนั่นแหละแต่ว่าในบริบทที่บางทีเราต้องดูแบบเราต้องดูไม่ตรงมากๆอ่ะ These are your options yeah economically disadvantaged means you have certain advantage in terms of economic status yeah or low income you can guess it yeah underprivileged เหมือนคนด้อยโอกาสนะคะ depending on who referring to instead of saying poor you can use these options or old for example we want to help old people this product helped old people you can change to elderly people sounds better senior citizens ผู้สูงอายุผู้สูงวัยa pensioner a retiree ผู้เกษียณอายุ something like this yeah or bad this is bad the idea is bad or the project is bad you can say something is to be improved something is to be improved this is to be improved this draft is to be improved not the bad draft or sometimes they also say not up to scratch like ยังไม่ถึงขั้นยังไม่ถึงเกณฑ์ or something like that it wasn't up to scratch means maybe it wasn't good enough yeah or it's questionable there are many things if you go to the cheat sheet you will find the word list เนาะมันจะมีตั้งแต่หน้าแรก I think the second unit of synonyms yeah the synonyms there will be words like this that you can use as well questionable means there's still a question whether or not it's good or it's bad means that you can't say that it's good yet questionable ยังมีคำถามมีความค้างคา something like that this program is still the quality is still questionable for example these sentences how you can put these words in the sentences for example this policy is not helping the economically disadvantaged people for example or over here maybe we should provide special service for the elderly not the old the elderly or maybe that was a questionable idea means there were some problems with those ideas or it wasn't up to scratch or the quality of this product wasn't up to scratch mean it wasn't good enough yeah something like that okay now moving on some other examples cheap.What's wrong with cheap? Cheap is good. Cheap means ถูกใช่ไหมถูกก็น่าจะดีไหมล่ะcheap can have a connotation or a second meaning which is it can convey a little bit of negative meaning. If you call a person you're a cheap person, such a cheap person, it means that the person is likeงกอะเป็นคนแบบไม่ค่อยยอมจ่ายตังค์ไปเที่ยวไหนแบบไม่เคยเลี้ยงเพื่อนไม่ใจเลยแบบโอ้โหแบบเห็นแก่ตัวอะไรแบบเป็นคนแบบไม่ขี้งกเหนียว something like that so that is how they call a person cheap and it's kind of like a definitely not a compliment and something that it has a negative meaning มันเป็นคำที่ดูแบบไม่ค่อยดีเท่าไหร่ so if you want to call your product cheap that it kind of suggests the quality is not as good that is why you could use something like economical yeah economical means ราคาประหยัดอะไรประมาณนี้ or affordable is likeราคาเอื้อมถึงinexpensive ไม่แพง or at a great priceราคาดีราคางาม or something like that yeah for example this is the most economical car in the market right now instead of this is the cheapest car in the market right now economical yeah something like that how about pay or money like ค่าจ้างyeah sometimes we don't want to use the word ค่าจ้าง in many situations so if it's monthly if it's something that regular payment and you can say salary ก็คือเงินเดือนนั่นแหละนะคะที่เราเหมือนเราพูดกันเนาะ or in some cases for example I've been to a conference I've been to conferences and when there are professors or researcher from around the world they spend their time talking giving a lecture at any event conference we don't say like did you receive the pay อาจารย์คะไม่ทราบว่าได้ค่าจ้างหรือยังโอ้ so then we call it compensation เหมือนค่าตอบแทนเนี่ยค่าตอบแทน as something like they spend their time here so this is a compensation for their time their knowledge their expertise spent at this work this event. Yeah, so compensation is something that you can use. Yeah, to fire someone. Yeah, to fire someone. ไล่ออกนะคะไล่ออก you can say to let someone go. Oh, sorry. Compensation. For example, I like the job, but I'm not sure about the compensation. I like the job, but I'm not sure about the compensation. ชอบงานนี้นะแต่ว่าไม่มั่นใจเรื่องค่าตอบแทนเท่าไหร่ไม่ได้พูดเรื่องว่าค่าจ้างค่าตอบแทนเนี่ย or to fire someone you can say instead of fire this person, yeah, you can say let someone go or to lay someone off. We say the company laid people off. Yeah, we don't say like fire people. It's okay, but it's very straightforward, yeah, as well. So maybe you can say yeah, it's unfortunate that the company will have to lay some people off this year. Not fire people, lay people off. Rich. What's wrong with being rich? So in some context, especially in writing, to say like, oh, this product is for rich people. Okay, but like straightforward. ก็ห้วนนิดหนึ่งนะคะ so you can say like well off or someone is well off. Oh, she's rich. Oh, she's well off. Yeah, or wealthy ก็คือมีฐานะรวยกับมีฐานะ Oh, her family is pretty well off. Something like that. Unemployed. ตกงาน instead of ตกงาน we go between jobs อยู่ระหว่างการหางาน Oh, she's between jobs or she's out of work or she's looking for some other job, looking for a new job, preparing to work in this industry, preparing to for her further studies, something like that. So you can say, for example, you can say she is between jobs instead of she is unemployed. Yeah, something like that. So sounds better. Okay, pregnant. Oh, can I forgot this? Okay. Pregnant ท้องเนาะ expecting คือเหมือนกับว่าตั้งครรภ์pregnant is kind of like oh my wife is pregnant. Okay, yeah, it's fine, but then usually people like my wife are expecting. My wife is expecting. We are expecting a girl, a boy, anything like that. Yeah, expecting คาดหวัง we expect something เราคาดหวังอะไรบางอย่างก็คือคาดหวังน้องกำลังมีน้อง or something like that. Birth control, contraception. It's คุมกำเนิดการคุมกำเนิด instead of การคุมกำเนิด we use family planning การวางแผนครอบครัวดูดีขึ้นมานะคะ we need to increase the access to family planning for women. Yeah, something like that. Or old อันนี้ไปแล้วขออภัยนะคะ die for example die she died he died yesterday. There's nothing wrong, it's just of course very straightforward. So passed away, maybe passed away เสียชีวิตเนาะ to be laid to rest. Yeah, to be laid to rest is kind of likeจากไปอย่างสงบ or something like that. Yeah, or dearly departed ก็ departure เครื่องบินอันนี้คือท่าอะไรเนี่ยเครื่องบินเนี่ย departure ก็คือการแบบขาออกอะไรอย่างเงี้ยเนาะ depart คือจากไปนะคะ dearly depart จากไปแบบอย่างเป็นที่รักอะไรประมาณเนี้ยเนาะ for example his father passed away last year. His father died last year. His father passed away. Sounds better, yeah. Or dead or someone is dead or my dead husband or something like that. So we don't use that. We use late, yeah, the departed, the deceased, yeah. For example, it's become like ผู้ล่วงลับ instead of ผู้ตาย yeah, ผู้ล่วงลับผู้จากไป or something like that. For example, she gave her late husband clothes to charity. We don't say like dead husband, late husband, the late husband's clothes to charity, yeah, something like that. Okay. Now, these are some euphemism, yeah. Of course, the list goes on. มันก็จะมีอีกเยอะมากๆเลยนะคะ We can talk about like maybe 3 months, but you get the idea, right? Especially euphemism really applies, especially when you need some writing. โดยเฉพาะเวลาที่เราต้องใช้กับงานเขียนนะหรืออะไรที่มันแบบจะไปแบบ public มากๆเราก็จะพยายามไม่ใช้ภาษาที่มันแบบปังปบปบปบปบปบ right so we want to be as neutral as polite and formal as possible yeah and this is called euphemism yeah euphemisms okay now another thing that you can do or you can add this one applies to when you speak as well yeah to when usually to when you speak is you can add some titles to the person you are talking to who you're addressing ภาษาไทยเนี่ยเรามีคุณเรามีท่านเรามีแบบอะไรที่มันแบบนำหน้าชื่อแล้วก็เราก็เรียกชื่อแล้วก็สรรพนามในภาษาไทยเรามีเยอะกว่าใช่ไหมคะภาษาอังกฤษเนี่ยเราใช้ you ภาษาไทยนี่เรามีแบบคุณท่านเธอแกมึงอะไรเงี้ยคือมันมีหลายระดับมากๆ but in English we only have you have the same meaning so then adding something like this like a title for example sir or madam for example like sir I don't think this is with all due respect sir yes sir how can I serve you sir or something like that it's help really addressing that you are the sir sometimes sir is because it's used in back in the days when there are some like classes of the people so saying sir in many situations really like for example if you're talking to the president of America then of course most of the time then you probably want to be using sir whatever sir like sir or sir it can be start with sir เป็นการเรียกนะ sir something sir can we get you this can we do that blah 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 or I understand it sir something like that so it could be sir and madam works the same way as well yeah or sometimes we use Mr. Mrs. or Miss like in front of like Mr. Robinson's I really need your signature over here or instead of like for example his name is let's say John Smith for example and if you're gonna call like John hey John I need your signature here instead of that we say like Mr. Smith would you mind like giving me the signature over here like I would need your signature right here it sounds better yeah or Mrs. Robinson's or Miss จงอุดมสุข or something like that instead right so it seems more like you are addressing very in a very formal manner okay the next thing that you can do is to use model verbs and we briefly talked about this in the from the very beginning of this course already about model verbs because we have been using that in writing emails already but I want to emphasize a little bit more about it it can start with like something like instead of will shall can may then you use would should could might instead so it shows that you kind of like assume more there's some distance between you and the assumption or the statement how straightforward that is yeah so model verbs is another tools that you can use to make it sounds more polite in many situations yeah and it's not too formal it's not too polite you can use it in many common situations as well for example instead of saying it's my pleasure you can say it would be my pleasure yeah or yeah it's my pleasure it would be my pleasure something like that yeah or I want a cup of tea then you want to say I would like a cup of tea please yeah so a lot of time we talked about this from the very beginning that it would be คือเป็นการคิดว่ามันน่าจะมันคงจะมันจะเป็นแบบนี้มากๆเลย so it's your assumption it's not like you already say that it is ถ้า it is ก็คือเป็นอยู่คือเลยเป็นอย่างนั้นเลยแต่ it would be something or something would be something it's more of a assumption มันน่าจะดีก็คงจะดี you know so there are more distance between you and the direct มันเหมือนมันแบบห่างกันขึ้นมาเราก็ไม่มั่นใจว่า you know what you know what I mean something like that I would like I would love something like that would sound a little bit more polite yeah next is expand the sentences